So, Mary, there's a question. If somebody's doing Mary's Mini, is oatmeal okay for the staple starch?
If you're going to eat it all for all 3 meals.
Well, that'd be rough. I don't love it. I don't love
Yeah.
oatmeal. It's too mushy.
The idea of Mary's Mini is to choose one starch and you eat that starch only at all of your meals for 10 days. And so if you choose potatoes, then you have potatoes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 10 days. And you can have some green and yellow vegetables with it, but no other stuff. That was the way we planned it in the beginning, and that's the way it started. And people now have added all kinds of things to it, and they eat one starch one day and one starch another day, and that's not the idea. The idea is it's supposed to be really boring.
Yeah.
So you eat the same starch.
This is a diet. You need to suffer.
You eat the same starch all 3 meals. So no, unless you're going to eat oatmeal every single meal for 10 days, then no, oatmeal is not considered part of the Mary's Mini.
Yeah.
I would add, you could theoretically argue, and I think what you said is true. I think an oatmeal diet would be a great way. I think about how the Scottish lived. They ate oatmeal all the time.
Sure.
And of course, we'd like you to eat whole oats, but I could argue that maybe potatoes are better for weight loss because remember, the fat you eat's the fat you wear. Potatoes are 1% fat and oatmeal is 16% fat. This is why we never put the amount of fat in any of our recipes. Our editors have asked us over and over again, after the recipe, would you put the percent of calories of fat, et cetera, et cetera? And the answer is no, because people would judge the food based on something like I just told you. You think oatmeal is bad because it's 16% fat and potatoes are good because they're 1% fat. They've both been the staple foods of very successful populations, and they can be your choice, or you can have a mixture. But if you want to make it really boring,
See, I don't think eating
I'll
potatoes.
tell you how to do it.
I just never find eating potatoes or sweet potatoes at every meal boring.
Neither do we, AJ. But I think I worry that it's because I'm not the passionate fool I used to be. We really eat very simple these days. Like last night, Mary asked, well, what would you like for dinner? Well, I really like the rice and vegetables you cooked the night before. And, she basically did that with a little variation. And Friday night it'll be rice and vegetables,
No, tonight it's going to be potatoes.
We're going to mashed potatoes.
Potatoes.
Anyway, we don't eat very many different foods, just a few.
Dr. McDougall, I thought once I heard you say, though, not to eat too many beans in a day. So would beans not be something you want to do on Mary's Mini 3 times a day?
That, again, you're getting into some pretty big details there, particularly when you're asking people from the rich Western diet to make this kind of transition. Beans are comforting foods. They're very solid. People are used to them being, staple foods. And
yeah, but to eat them 3 times a day.
Well, I was going to get to that point.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
When I first put this program together back in the 70s, all I cared about was my patients. I just wanted my patients to get well. I was in a hospital setting. I just finished my residency and became a board certified internist. So I was dealing with all kinds of really significant problems, which is really what I enjoy doing. My motto is the sicker you are, the happier I am, because, the more likely you are to get better. Anyway, I had patients who had liver disease, osteoporosis, kidney stones, kidney failure. So, we had to limit their protein intake, and you would have to. You would have to limit their bean, peas, and lentil intake if they lost that much kidney function. So yes, that was the point of view I was coming from. Now, whether or not the person who's pretty healthy eating beans every day more than I recommend would be harmful, I think the degree of risk is very tiny. Although on the Western diet, when you get to be 70, 80 years old, you've lost 20, 25% of your kidney function just from your normal eating. The level of protein in the American diet, protein's toxic. So, that's why I've been a little stricter, just like with people with hypoglycemia. And maybe I did it for diabetics, I forget. Probably did. I said to limit your fruit intake, and I put a little honeybee up there in the recipes and to just indicate to people that maybe I'd be a little more cautious. Hey, look, I'm a doctor, my foundation is taking care of people. It just so happens that most people just need a little help, and we were able to give them that little help real easy. Particularly easy, as you mentioned today, doing a telemedicine program. It's just, the rewards are huge. Come to the website, find out for yourself. So
I gotta tell you, we are getting so many questions on Mary's Mini today. So for example, the question is let's say you pick potato or sweet potato as your starch. Does it have to be the same potato and sweet potato for 10 days? Or could you maybe have a red one day, a russet, you know what I'm saying? And are you allowed to put anything on them? And the most important question is, what is, from Claudia, why should we eat the same starch for 10 days? What is the benefit of Mary's Mini?
Make it
Well,
real
the
boring.
benefit is boring. So that's why we say you pick one.
This is a diet. You need to suffer.
You're not going to eat this for more than 10 days. That's not what we recommend, is that people eat Mary's Mini
You
forever.
wanted to lose as much weight as you could possibly lose. You didn't care. You were ready to sacrifice your kidneys and your liver and your bones eating the Atkins diet. You were able to starve yourself. Whoa. You just want a program that works. Well, we're going to make you suffer by, go ahead, Mary, tell them how to suffer.
No, you pick one. You pick one. If you pick sweet potatoes, then it's sweet potatoes for 10 days.
The same color.
But could it be an orange one day and a white one the next day?
Eyes on the potatoes, make sure they have the same eyes.
The same color. So if you pick white potatoes, then you eat white potatoes. So you can't vary them, and you can't have rice one day and potatoes the next day, because that's not boring anymore, and you'll eat more food. And the idea is to eat less food so that you lose weight faster, because that's the whole idea of Mary's Mini, because it's a diet.
Right, because variety encourages overeating. Yep.